It's recording now. Welcome. I am the teacher. I'll be having a conversation with my nephew. He's a very wise young man.
Oh man, I don't know about all that.
I do. And he is very gifted in his understanding. He has, I can't imagine how many books you read in your lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw that shelf of all them books,
Yeah.
I said, okay. Yeah. You remind me of my oldest brother. I get all my books from Younger Richard. I have bought, see that book, The Divine Matrix over there?
Yeah.
I bought that book. I never read it from beginning to the end. I kind of skimmed through it, but
Yeah.
I recommend that book because it is one of the truest writings about dealing in the world, and like some of y'all in the modern generation, y'all say being assimilation and all that. So he talks about the Divine Matrix.
Okay.
And lately, he has been talking about man needs to pay attention to what's going on with AI. And he said we are kind of like in the final stage as far as that, the way he sees is that our bio, which I agree with, is 100 times better than AI.
Right.
AI is not universal. They're only getting the data that man has fed it.
Exactly.
And they think it could process it faster, but nothing is faster than thought.
Right. I agree. I totally agree with that, because AI is almost everything. I like to learn about history, that.
Yes.
I'm a very spiritual person. I like to learn about business and investing. So I'm hearing all this AI talk, and I know right now what's the way they're structuring AI. The godfathers of it structure it based on the neural pathways of humans. That's how they want to do it. They want to make it generative. So we've had AI for decades, artificial intelligence, but it wasn't what they're trying to do, which is to make it generative, which means it learns by learning and by doing. It learns on what it's done. That's the thing where they're all trying to reach right now. And knowing that they're trying to reach that, they need our biology, like you said, to reach that level. We're trying to make ourselves, we're trying to be God, which is scary to me, right? Because
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say be God, so let's go back a little bit. So define, because everybody don't have the same concept of God.
Right.
Most people think of God as God is perfect.
Right.
Okay, I don't see God as perfect. Right. I see the language is perfect, mathematics, but I don't think if God is playing basketball, he's gonna make every shot.
Right.
So when you say God, how do you view God?
Right. To me, God to me is all encompassing. God to me doesn't have a limit, right? Because some people see God as limited, like they see him as in a human form. They use the word he all the time.
Right.
Like I don't do that. To me, I don't know what God will look like. To me, God is an energy. It's like
energy?
God is if I had to put a really low term on it, a word on it, it's energy to me, right? I know something made me. How am I here, right? And as we expand our knowledge as humans, we're starting to see that there's other organisms and intelligence out there in the universe, multiverse, whatever they want to call it, something that created that. And whatever created that,
that's God.
That's God to me.
So God is intelligent energy.
God is intelligent energy. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
So is that do you see that as perfect?
See, that's the interesting thing about that. Words like that, when I think about the higher energy, the higher power, the most high, what is perfect? What is imperfect? If it's all been created by this energy, like how do they even define it? To me, it's like where is there a horizon? Is there a limit to what this power is, because it'll probably explode our minds trying to figure out where it started. right? Like, so whatever that energy is, I can't say. How do I know what perfect is, what is imperfect? Wouldn't that energy have created both of those yins and yangs, right? To have one to say something's imperfect, well, that means we have to know what perfect looks like, right? So if it's everything. So how do you define? I don't even know if we have the language for it. You know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Language.
Yeah.
All right. So I teach the original. I call it the original thought, supreme mathematics.
Right.
Basically, it's what I've been teaching is multiplication and adding, which is basic arithmetic. I do believe that, well, I don't like to use the word belief. Okay. I am aware of a beginning. So, like you were saying, so mathematics wise, what is the first number?
You know, for the longest I thought it was 1, but it's 0.
0?
Yeah.
All right, so 0, what I teach, you cannot define it. It's the womb. Everything's in the womb, just like you said. What will we call that, right?
Right.
So once you start naming something, okay, now you are saying that if you name something, then you are describing it, like defined it.
Right.
And then here comes the language.
Right.
Here come the spells. If you start writing, then you create a spell. You bring in the people to think a certain way. You get it. Mathematics doesn't do that. Okay. Now, just like you into the Egyptians.
Yeah.
Okay, so what they call hieroglyphics, right?
Right.
People can look at the hieroglyphics and they can. What was that? The Rosetta Stone, they say?
Yeah, the Rosetta Stone.
All right, now, people can believe that. There are levels to understanding. Just like there's level to the hieroglyphics.
Right.
Depending on your understanding, is what you're going to see. Some people might say 3D, understanding, whatever. So a picture, when you're using symbols, is more words there. When you just have words, you are limiting your perspective of what is to be read at a level.
Right.
So when you give somebody hieroglyphics, you looking into it, the word. You are not defining it. It will explain itself if you flow with it. Right. It's, you got to read into it, not just read it as a guidance. If that makes sense.
No, you're making sense, because they're trying to, when it comes to like the ancient Egyptians, I like to call them the Kemites. There's a term called, as Black people, we're trying to get back to our ancient future. Right, we've been disrupted. Right.
Yeah.
We've
defragmented.
We were so beyond what we are now. So when you look at the hieroglyphics, that was like a Greek word. That's what that meant. But to them, it was called the Meduneter, which meant God's words. And like you said, it was images. And when I say we're getting back to our ancient future, if you look at what we do now, we have emojis. Yes. Right? We could just literally put an emoji in a text, and that means so much to people. Yeah. So it's showing that we're starting to get back to taking pictures, and we understand what that means. Just by looking at the picture, you can get so much out of it instead of just like a word, like you said. So I think we're starting to go back there as we start to bring in this, what we call advanced technology. I think a lot of it was just lost because knowledge was destroyed. And like you said, with the whole mathematics, our African ancestors were huge when it comes to numbers.
There's no error in mathematics.
There's no error.
So if I ask you to start counting,
right,
when are you going to stop?
I'm not.
Right. It's a continuance.
Right.
So that's a significant. That's like reading.
Right.
It's like if I pick up a book, there is a beginning and an ending to that book. Right. You can go back and read it and pick up something different each time. But once again, there's an ending to it.
Right.
When I do my studying, I always say, if you study, there's more to it.
Right.
Math is continuous.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I want to get people back to. The understanding is your thought is what eventually is going to be manifest.
Right.
So if you get your thought right, you don't have to worry about dealing with it, because if you go through the proper process, the universe will tell you if it's going to be or if it's not.
Right.
It's in the map.
Right.
For me, the way I understand.
Right. And you know, when it comes to math, just thinking about that, and as you know, like I said, I'm really into my African history, right?
Right.
I meant we need it. I meant like right now, we in February, it's almost over in Black History Month, right? And in America, we don't even touch the surface of our history. It's ridiculous, right? If we really touched on our history, Black History Month would also be celebrating the foundation of mathematics that came from us, right? Mm-hmm. Just thinking, when I think about that, the foundation of math, just thinking about that concept just happening, right? It almost feels like the energy that created us, math was in us, right? We would put things together and naturally math just started to come out of it. And then there were just people who were maybe considered a little more educated, then it would start putting symbols to what we consider math. And that's when you start getting your zeros, your ones, and all that. They started to define. Yeah.
You hit on the key point. Now, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yeah.
You speak English.
I know.
Do you remember? See, I remember when you were young. But you don't remember actually your first English word.
No.
So, how did you know, do you even remember saying daddy and mama? But there was some time in your life when you picked up and learned that language, right, by your mind observing, etc. That's natural. Right. When somebody says you have to be taught, and you go to these so-called universities. Now it's amazing they call themselves universities, but they're not. The universal. That's why I always say, you know, math is throughout the universe. When you were saying the math and how you can put it. Yeah. Geometry is all about the symbols, like the rectangles, and you know, you got these theorems. If you put this here, the circles and all that. That's frequency and sound. Right. It's gonna make the shapes. Right. While you learning, math is so natural. That's how you learn English and all these other man-made language. Right. Observation is that. Now you don't remember, but eventually it was natural for you to pick up the language of your environment. Right. The problem with modern day parents, they don't even know their environment. So now we are born, just like you say, the stuff has been lost. Well, if it's been lost, we haven't been raised properly. And these so-called modern day scientists, they never seen a healthy human being. Yeah. I mean, they can say we did this study. Well, who have you been studying? A bunch of people who drinking polluted water, who's breathing in a polluted atmosphere, who was out of sync with the earth. We walk around in shoes that our soles of our feet don't even touch the ground. We're not even in a rhythm. The earth vibrates every 26 seconds. It's a low frequency. We don't feel it. Every 26 seconds, there's a pulse. They haven't figured out why, but it's in the language. That's one of the reasons. And one of our, you're not familiar, are you familiar with the 5%?
Maybe the surface of it, but not like you are.
Well, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
the lessons. Okay, so I was born into the nation.
Right.
Okay, so the lessons were all around me. The 5%, what I make reference of is it's 120 lessons that we have. Okay, so within that 120 lessons, you know, that's why you might have heard some of the cats when you went to college, they might say, do you know you're 120?
Or do you know you're 120? Exactly.
Right, yeah, okay. Now, there's a cycle with that. That's why I say the number 3 is a cycle. So if you know how to use the math as a key, you take the 120 with the 3, that's going to take you to 360 degrees. But see, there is father, mother, or you can say mother, father. And then the end result of that, as far as family, is the child.
Right, I see.
You know, that's a union of it. So when you think about religion, all religions are in a state that they are waiting on a Messiah, a Mahdi to come and save them.
Right.
Or the son of a man.
Right.
The son of man.
Right.
And a Christian, right. So if a true man and a true woman with understanding has that son and properly knows how to raise him, then the way we learn is more natural. So I ask you a question. Why do people go to these universities? What are you learning? Are you learning about life?
No, you're not learning about life. What you're learning is to survive in the society that we consider life, right? That's what I think university is for. I think after that, true learning is the environment you in, and everybody's environment is different. And yeah, I just see university as a tool for survival at a certain level in your life, right? You don't necessarily need it to find love, to raise a family, right? Because that one, like you said, the father and son, that 1 + 1 makes 3. They brought up 3, so that's why you got that father. Well, you know, in religion they took out the woman, but you got the father and the mother, and then you got. But so you don't need that for university. So it's just more of a tool to survive in whatever society you in. But outside of that, no, true life. I feel like true life is something. I feel like it's natural, right? I feel like everyone could survive naturally. I think it just comes to us from some energy. It's almost like watching the Nature Channel. You see how, I don't know, antelope gives birth. That antelope comes out, all of a sudden it's standing, it's running. They know what to do, right? They know. It's like something.
It's an innate thing.
It's an innate thing. And
Right.
I think we have that to some extent as humans. I think we just kind of forget that, right? And we always think that, you know, you need certain institutions to do this and that. But I think if the world had to start over again, and it was just a man and a woman, we know that 1 + 1 = 3. You got your math starting all over again. And there we go. Yeah.
Life.
Yeah.
So, I was in a conversation earlier, and a person said, you always say that you know God. I said, yeah, I used to believe in him, but I knew him. I know him. I've been hanging out with him for a while now. Right? Yeah, so what does he look like? He looks like life. You say, life, I don't believe in a mystery God. Okay? If just like I know right now, I'm talking to you. I can see you, right? But I can go to your house I look at your study. And when I was there the other day, I said, that's Taj. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you know somebody, you can see them.
Right.
Even when they're not so-called physically present. You know,
Yeah.
So if I'm looking outside, I'm not looking at trees and birds and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's what you call them, right?
Yeah.
But that's life.
Right.
So the one is life.
Right.
So people say, you see, God, I see life all the time.
Right.
You can't separate what so-called word God.
Right.
Can't separate that from life. The whole process, like you were explaining earlier, the whole energy concept,
Right.
it's about life.
Right.
So my interest was always God in football.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, football dominated my life. Okay, I want to separate somebody from their body. Why? I can't explain it. Okay, I love the contact. I like the game, but there's a 60-minute period. Then that game is over with. The game of life never ends.
Right.
And I approach the game of life totally different as I did on football.
Yeah.
Two different concepts.
Yeah. So why do you think humans had to personify God? Why do you think it had to be in a human form? And to add on to that, why do we always say he? You know what I mean? Those things always, I think those two things kind of always push me away from religion. Because what I'm learning from religion teaches you what to think, while spirituality teaches you how to think. And whenever I hear the whole, he will save you, I'm like, well, how do we know it's a he, right? How do we know it's he? Because if we really observe life and nature, it's never just he. It's he, she, if you need something, right? And that makes more. So why is it always a he? And why is it always a person? Like, that's what's always drew me away from it, you know?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an excellent point.
Yeah.
As far as he and she.
Yeah.
You hear me say he. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's English.
Yeah.
So, but if I want to say what the proper name is, what I call the one.
Yeah.
So I just use the number one.
Right.
The zero is the beginning.
Right.
That's the womb.
Right.
Everything comes out of the womb.
Exactly.
What turns me away from religion, they don't know how to deal with the woman. She's always about sin.
Right.
She's always on the lower standard.
Right.
But mathematics is how I can explain.
Yeah. Right.
Try to explain.
Yeah.
Okay. So they are 10 numbers. 0 through 9.
Right.
But technically, only 2 numbers exist. 0 and 1. Male and female. One cannot continue without the other.
Exactly.
So when the 1 and the 0 are united, that's the number 10. That's 10 base. The 1 came out the womb.
Right.
Everything is in the womb.
Right.
It's in 0.
Right.
The 1 comes out, stands to the right side of the 0. They face each other, but it's 10 base.
Right.
Out of that 10, out of the first 10, it's out of motion. You start. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Right.
And then there is a repetitive. There are distinctive three patterns of life. Okay? Most people are aware of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But there are 2 distinct other patterns. 4, 8, 3, 7, 2, 6, 1, 5, 9. And then there are 7, 5, 3, 1, 8, 6, 4, 2, 9. Those are 3 distinct pattern. One is the original thought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 4, 4, 8, 3, 7, 2, 6, 1, 5, 9, that is beginning of manifestation. The 7, 5, 3, 1, 8, 6, 4, 2, 9, that is when the manifestation becomes aware, fully aware of the Creator. So all life form, I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
It's zero. It has the male and female. We say he. Male is going to carry the seed, whatever it is of life. But the seed has to be placed. So the equality between man and woman, that's how you get back to your natural heritage.
Right.
When we come into the world, we ain't looking for the Father has nothing for us. We are naturally going to feed from what?
Right.
From the zero, for where everything is defined.
Right.
You can't call yourself a man and then think that you're greater than your woman.
Exactly.
It doesn't even make sense because you're lopsided.
It doesn't.
It's lopsided. Now, the number 2 is the first number after the 1. Number 2 is us. Mean all life after the 1, that's 2. It don't just mean human beings. Because in mathematics, there is no alien.
Right.
Because it's all in the mind.
Right.
So people want to say they are reptilians and whatever. I know what they are.
Yeah.
They're life.
Right.
And I can deal with anything associated with life. I'm going to communicate through them mathematically, so whatever's out there, don't matter to me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
The 1 is present. You can't be alive without the 1.
Right. No, I agree with you.
I mean, does that make sense to you?
No, it makes total sense. Because to me, if there's nature, people try to say it's chaos, but it's not. It's balance, right? Energy always flows.
You just said a key word.
Right.
Yeah. When you are speaking, right? Yesterday, I asked you, when you dreaming, do you see yourself?
Yeah. No, I never. When you said it, I had to think about it. I'm like,
so dreaming takes you to a different state.
Right.
You are observing.
Right.
But you got visual.
Yes.
I do visual meditation. Some people meditate, try to clear. I do visual meditation. So that's how I see what's been going on. It's a state that you can get through visual meditation. Instead of you waiting to go to sleep when your body is tired, visual meditation allows you to see while you are conscious.
So you quiet and sitting there just looking?
Sometimes I can be cutting the grass. And
Oh, yeah.
no, I've been doing it for so long. It's just now I needed to kind of be focused on what I'm doing. I can't do it in chaos. So that's why, I do need to be like if I'm laying down before I go to sleep a lot of times. Well, I just follow the light.
So you like going inside, like what they call your third eye or something like that?
That's the key. Whenever you're using a third, whenever something comes from the third, say the 3, 6, or 9, those are the keys. See, if you multiply anything, I'm gonna use the word times. So you times anything by 3 and 6, you're gonna either, when you break it down, it's gonna be 3, 6, or 9. If you multiply anything by 9, when you break it down to the single digit, it will be 9, because 9 is completion. So those are the 3 keys. Now, I like the religious books.
Yeah.
I like reading the religious books.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. My favorite story, even though I was raised a Muslim, my favorite story is Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. preferably job. But the life of the person, Jesus, that's what they call him, but we know that wasn't his real name.
Right.
But I think it's a whole lot that I relate to as far as a discipline.
Right.
You know, as far he was a bad dude to me. That's what I got. I said, hey, I'm gonna go read about this bad dude.
Yeah.
That's my cat. Right? I liked his style.
Right.
But if you think about what is written in red in that so-called New Testament, think about your lifetime. You in your 40s. Even when you were in your 30s, could you put every word you ever said in a book?
No.
That's why I say knowing the original thought, knowing the process of thinking, true thinking, unlimited thinking, is going to introduce you to your career. How else you going to know it if you can't communicate right?
Yeah. Definitely.
But back to the woman. 0 plus 0 equals 0.
Right.
0 times 0 equals 0.
Right.
She cannot be defined. Good luck.
Right.
If you, no man shall try to explain his woman. She already had the words in her.
Right.
We're going to come out of her, and nothing comes out of the womb. Oh, it's new.
Right.
She makes all things new.
Right.
Oh, we take credit for it. We say he makes all things new, right? But it's coming out the womb new.
Right.
Period.
Right.
The one set the order, but what he was setting order to was already there. We talking about the beginning.
Right.
There's one thing in order to for the one and the zero to manifest themselves. They had to have a us to represent them. That's just like you have children.
Right.
They are representing you.
Right.
Physically. And the first environment they're experiencing is what you provided for them.
Right.
Right?
Right.
They heard you and your wife speaking and they picked up on whose language?
Our language. Yeah.
So if we are truly in the environment of the one, we should understand what? Mathematics.
Right.
You should have that understanding. Or you should be getting damn close to it
Yeah.
by now.
Right.
So the coming of the Son of Man, what is he going to be bringing you? He's going to be bringing you mathematics. That's the original language. What is it that you now? Take the number 2. Think of all the other numbers.
Yeah.
2 plus 2 equals 4. 2 times 2 equals 4.
Right.
That's the only number, like 0,
Right.
that if you add it and multiply it, you get the same result. And that's why the number 4 represents balance. So we can't go back to creation, but we've been given unlimited the potential to create.
Right. Yeah.
We're the only living life form that can go beyond their instinct, beyond their nature, and create.
So how can I put this? So you know they're always trying to say that what makes humans different from other things is this or that. We stand up straight. We have the opposable thumb. Like, the more I think about it, I'm like wondering like what truly makes us different, right, than other organisms. And you know, I'm thinking if math is the universal language, I think that's what makes us different, because as we are understanding that universal language more, look what it does with technology, right? And I feel like as humans, if we really truly understood math and embraced it in that way and try to shed off some of the other things that, you know, make us, I mean, it's still part of our nature. If we're able to get past all the hate that we create for each other, all of these obstacles that we create for each other, blocking one because we're, you know, there's still a little bit of just, you know, survival. Like you have to do better or try to get over on the other so you can feel like you need to progress in life or hold one back. If we can get past that and embrace the math, we will be in multiverses right now, right? We'll be in totally different dimensions. I don't think we would have to travel physically anymore. I don't think right now scientists, when it comes to time travel, they think it's a physical thing. I think it's more we're gonna figure out with our brain that we can jump to different metaverses through the mind. That's true time travel.
What you are explaining now
Yeah.
is the original thought. What you just got to hitting on is when you mentioned travel, right?
Yeah.
So, modern day scientists, nothing goes faster than the speed of light.
Right.
That destroys physics.
Right.
So if you're going at 100, if you're going faster than 186,000 miles an hour, you're no longer traveling with time. Time doesn't exist fast the speed of light, right? So if thought, from our ancestors, we measured thought, and we said thought travels at a rate of 24 billion miles per second.
Right.
Compare that to the speed of light.
Exactly.
That's why you can't put no time on the beginning. So when people say, well, when did God create all this?
Right.
You gonna try to keep up with thought?
Right. Right.
Now
they're trying to say that if you read all the books, God thought, and there things came out of the darkness, light through thought. They didn't say God walked, God flew. They said, yeah.
What I like, everything you see came from a thought.
Right.
So these chairs. So you're sitting in the past. You understand?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So in this world, it's all about learning what has already happened. You're not creating. So you can have a very low frequency if you're using things that's already been thought of. You understand? So Satan, the so part, when you mentioned hate and all that.
Yeah, right.
In mathematics, there is no Satan. I mean, what?
Yeah.
I mean, show me a lot.
Right.
Can't do it.
Right.
Right. So what you were talking about, there's in the lessons, this is really not one of the lessons, but it's a problem and it's key because it's problem 13. I'm gonna make a video about it eventually, but there's so many moving points to problem 13 because I cannot explain it in 30 minutes. I cannot do it. I have tried. And I keep saying I'm gonna talk about it. I try to do my video in 30 minutes. That's a serious bit. And the reason why.
The number 13?
The number 13.
Okay.
Now, you know, the universe is always gonna break things down to the single digit. So the number 13 is actually number 4, but it's balanced. But when you get to the duality, like when you come out of the single digits, you got 11, 12, then you got 13. Now the key thing about 13, when Jesus was among his disciples, how many was present? Yeah. Right. So 13 is key. Sometimes you get on an elevator, you don't even see the 13th floor.
Right, yeah.
They don't want you to be low.
Yeah.
That's why that's all that symbolic means. Stay away from 13. It's an unlucky number, but if you understand 13, you become balanced. Now, that's also the first time when the one in its manifest, like male and female, that's their first key. That's where the first one you see the number 3, like 11, 12. The number 3 is next to the 1. See, when I use the word duality, I'm talking about when man and woman are joining together to bring in the son, or bring in that first seed, that first child into the world. So nothing happens without the woman. Nothing happens without 0. Nothing happens without the 1.
Right.
They coexist.
Yeah. Do you think? Dang, I mean, you know how like people talk about the Big Bang, but now there's talk about there had to be something before the Big Bang. What created the Big Bang, right? So with 0, was there anything before 0? Like what do you say to something like that? You know what I mean? Could there be?
I'm only going to use the word 0.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
And the reason it has to remain that because you can't.
Yeah.
Whenever you're looking to have a conversation, you're saying you're going to define. You don't define the woman.
Right.
What is there, if it wants to come into existence, it will be. Just like you. Once again, if I ask you when is your birthday, I'm not gonna mention it on that, but you will tell me what that day is.
Yeah.
Can you prove it?
No.
You taking somebody's word for it.
Right. Yeah.
Trust.
Mm-hmm.
When you gain a trust of whatever that is in that 0, then the motion starts to eventually become manifest. Because you don't know what is around you. But if you present long enough, a trust is going to be there. The question that I've asked, and I got a whole lot of questions with it, because whenever I ask a question to the one, since I'm asking a question, he's going to give me a question. It's going to be a message in it. So, what I was told, define trust. You and I are having a conversation right now. But when your mom said, that's your uncle, a trust was there.
Right.
Because your environment, I know my sister, you were raised in love.
Right.
That's your uncle. That's an automatic what? Trust.
Right.
What is that? What is there without even a word?
Exactly.
Love.
Yeah.
So when love, that force in the universe, love is the force.
Right.
And when that love is there, things move. And when you start moving, you need to what? That's when the definition. I need what? I need you to move. I need you to go over there. Order comes.
Right.
Love, peace. Oh, I gotta tell you, I heard this comedian. Isaiah sent me that. Oh man, it was funny. He was talking about women. He said, man, women don't want no peace. I forget the cat's name. He said, women don't want no peace. He said, if she walk in a room and she see you over there smiling, she gonna say, instead of saying, man, he's really enjoying himself, she gonna say, what? And what is he smiling about? He'll come mess it up. So, I said that to say this. The womb, man and woman. What makes it interesting are the growth, learning. It's two different perspectives.
Yeah.
The problem I have they try to make that different perspective evil.
You're right.
Say,
Right.
hey, no.
Right.
It's a different perspective. If we learn to listen to one another, it's the relationship between the man and the woman, and the lack of trust. When the trust fades, then envy, jealousy, all that stuff starts forming because you can't explain things anymore. Once the trust is broke, then you have an issue. So the fellow man, like you said, if I don't know you, nah, the trust ain't there.
Right.
Because we have done harm to one another.
Right. Right. You said something earlier. You were saying you gave a string of numbers.
Yeah, 3 patterns of life.
Yeah. What was one of those you were saying? One of the patterns?
483726.
Yeah. Where did you get that from? What is
The
that?
math. So in other words,
Yeah.
you are life. Life adds and multiplies itself. So when you look at the numbers, when you add and multiply each number, you will see the 3 patterns of life. It's in the video. It's in, the first thing I did was when I started my YouTube channel, I explained the pattern, the 3 patterns of life.
Okay. Yeah.
So you add and multiply, you will see them patterns, and it's continuous. It is continuous.
Does each pattern stand for something?
Yes. Each the true expressions of each number has a word attached to it. It's like you heard me say the number 2 means us. It's because we are
Right.
life after the 1.
Right.
So us, all forms of life, 2. The number 3 is the beginning of the cycle. That's the first key. Number 4 means balance. 5 is justice. Matter of fact, the last video I made went through. You have to know. Maybe when I did the video, maybe I should have wrote that on there. But me being me.
So you're saying those, however you said that pattern.
That pattern. Yeah.
So if you were to define all of those numbers, that's that level of.
Yeah. I actually show the original thought, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Everybody is familiar with that.
Right.
But, okay, people don't need, just like we don't pay attention to life.
Yeah.
We pay it, like we say, we get up, I gotta go to work.
Right.
I need money. Well, what that got to do with life?
Right. Yeah.
Nothing. So, 483-726-159, that is the pattern of manifestation. Because all life is the number 2. So when I say 2 is us, 2 plus 2 equals 4. So if you do the number 2, that is its pattern of life. So you got, if you do 7 and 2, because they're going to equal 9, they're going to do that pattern. Now another thing, if you're going to have me start talking about the patterns, you're going to get sleepy. Because it's going to take you, it's a frequency, it's going to take you to a different state. So now you're going to start wanting to see what I'm talking about. In order for you to see it, you're going to find yourself resting. You're going to get into your eyes, there's nothing you can do about it. It's a natural state. If people have insomnia, learn the 3 patterns of life. Now, I guarantee you, when you start studying, you're going to find you notice that you ain't going to drop. You're not used to that state of understanding. It's a frequency.
So what pulled you into wanting to learn the numbers and then...
The law failed me. The religious law. I looked at my society. Wasn't doing nothing. I can go the rest of my life without drinking. I can be faithful.
Right.
I could, what's the other ones? I never been jealous of anybody. As far as me having jealousy, I've always been cool with who I was. Now, if I seen somebody that was good athletically, as long as I could, I wish I was faster, but I wasn't jealous because I wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I didn't have no despite from it.
Right.
But the law failed me, and I wanted to know what was the absolute truth.
Right.
So that got me into the numbers. But I really dived into them is when I heard the ministry speak. This was in 83. Anyway, he had came back from overseas, and it was in Chicago. It was either 82 or 83, and he broke down 1914, start of World War I. He said the number was 6, and he broke down 1941, break it down to 6. And I liked the way he broke it down, and that got me to start just dealing with the number. Now the pattern and the 3, 6, and 9, I saw the keys, but I didn't know what the keys went to. I saw the 3, 6, and 9.
What do you mean you saw it? What do you mean?
When I was doing the numbers, like if you multiply any number by 3, and I saw the keys.
Yeah.
But the patterns came about 25 years ago. And when I saw the pattern, it was in 98, whatever, how long it was. Because my father let me read this one book that the messenger wrote. And that's when I saw the number 10 for the first time. And when I saw that third 10, it just took off. So that's when I saw the patterns of life, then my whole understanding changed. I went from unaware state to is that okay, you let this frequency flow. So it was just a matter of getting to a point in my life when I just wanted to learn how the frequencies flow. Just like the patterns of life.
Yeah.
What I call the cycles of life.
Yeah.
And so forth. And then I learned the codes and all that kind of stuff. But once again, I discover stuff all the time. Yeah, I mean there is no end to it.
Yeah.
There's absolutely not. Because you start getting to the codes, look out.
Yeah.
You go into, I wrote this true statement. I call it true statement because it's no matter what age it is. When I got the code, I was at work actually. And I started saying, I slip into a daze. I just had this flow. I said, I slip into a daze in my dream of a distant maze as I collect these props to rephrase the events of the coming days. So I saw the maze. I saw the patterns. And by me looking at the maze from a distance, I was able to go through the maze. This world no longer mattered to me. When I moved down here, I didn't give a damn about this world. It was absolutely nothing to me. So I didn't worry about job, money. It was like, okay, I know exactly what that nonsense is about. Done with it.
So I know on your channel, you're trying to teach people about that. What do you think will happen if we all learn this as humans?
Hatred is out the door. Understanding the connection to the one. If the one is in your heart, a racist can get across from me. I can communicate with the one that is in his heart. Ain't nothing you can do about it. He or she can do about it. So love is undeniable because it creates a trust.
Right.
And if you use mathematics, tell me a number that's greater than another number. Man, my father had this conversation. He called me, he said, boy, you don't lost your mind. When I was first, so I asked him, is 11 greater than 7? And he said, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I said, no, it's not.
Uh,
I said, he said, boy. Okay. Now look, I said, if 11 and 7, if you add them, if it equals 18, you can't be equal unless you're already equal. Now, if you're going to say, if you start using greater, then you got to add another term. Greater in what way? Are you talking about greater in quantity? But what is 11? 11 is 11 ones.
right.
7 is 7 ones. So I wrote down 7 ones on the paper. I wrote down 11 ones on the paper. I said, look at the ones. Tell me which one is greater. Only way you're going to ever call greater is when you have to separate. But you can't separate the one. So if somebody is thinking they're better because their skin is white, or even if your skin is black, being original doesn't make you greater. It just makes you original.
Right. Yeah.
If life is here,
Right.
then there's equality.
Right.
Just because you talk different and you acting out the way you talk because you have no sense about yourself, it's really stupid when you stop and look at it. You can show the 7 ones, the 7 ones and 11 ones. Like I say, look at all the ones, tell me which one is greater. You can't. The one is in all life. And if we make that connection, you think about it, then I'm going to want for myself what I want for my brother.
Right.
And there's no reason that we can't have this equality. It's the freedom. Thought. When we are allowed to think,
yeah.
We can end hunger today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, what's stopping it? Something that people has accept money. What you need it for? Do you have the food? Then give it to the people that need it. If somebody don't have shelter, do you know how to make a house?
Yeah.
Then make it.
So that's as we start talking more about the numbers, it brings me back to just like sometimes when you live and you're like, this is the time, right? I can't believe this is still happening in 1983, and now we're in 2025. But knowing that stuff like artificial intelligence and technology is literally based on zeros and ones, and they're saying that if generative AI plays out how they think it's going to do, that then humans, our concept of what it means to be is going to change completely. We'll have things like we don't have to cook anymore, we don't have to do this, we don't have to do that, we're going to have something else doing that. And what is that then going to mean to humans? Like how is a human going to define themselves anymore? Because a lot of right now, humans define themselves on the job they do. So knowing that these ones and zeros are making this technology that's going to change the way we move in society, knowing that these ones and zeros can create something that can help feed everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then does that mean that humans are going to get back to the one, right? They're going to get back to the one. They're going to be able to.
The most important, the reason why people are always trying to find out what their purpose is,
Yeah.
because they stop learning.
Mm.
What I mean by learning, we have been told what to do. So you're not thinking.
Right.
You think.
Right.
Why am I here? You should have known that a long time ago and a purpose of that. Now, I had an experience when I was 3. I was sitting on the front porch Well, it was really stupid. Like, we had like one stack, then that was a little like a concrete. And I was sitting out there, and it was a nice day. The wind was blowing. I had a nice breeze, and then all of a sudden, I said to myself, I started looking around. I started listening, and I said to myself, I know what's going on. That's when I was born, because I made that connection with the one. Once I connected to the one, I started putting things together. Now, I was blessed. I'm going to try not to get emotional. I had an opportunity to observe
Yeah.
great men.
Yeah, you did.
So, it made it easy for me to just listen and observe. I reached out to my uncle. About a month ago. And him and Dad were tight. But he was my first minister that I listened to. And I just asked him some questions. But by him teaching helped me understand. So, my brother, I can't talk about him because I won't make it. So, I had opportunity to observe.
Yeah.
But the teacher for me that put it all together, okay, I think if anybody knows me, they know who I'm talking about. And I don't bring up the name because I do that out of respect and so forth. But he put it all together for me. And I used to listen to him every single day of my life. There's one speech that he made when he was breaking down the coming of God. It's 1972. And it was on an 8-track tape. And I heard him break down the coming of the Son of Man. It was masterful. And that got me, into seeing and making the connection. So I'm a product of my environment. And the gift of life, okay, that is something that we all should realize that that's what we're here for. We're here to learn about life. Like you mentioned, we are into our job as defined as for purpose. We ain't gonna feel right if we know our job, our careers, and all this stuff. But universally speaking, we're here to learn about life.
Right.
And the language of the universe is mathematics.
Yeah.
So I find comfort there.
Right.
And there are a lot of people I know that believe in God. I said it's time to start knowing it.
Right. I always wonder when people, when they believe in God. See, when I say God, I don't see.
Man.
I don't see anything.
Okay, that's fine.
I feel. That's what
You
right?
see the family.
Right. I
The union.
I see.
You feel it.
I feel.
I keep saying him.
Nature.
Yeah.
Like I just feel.
The math is all around.
Right.
Yes.
But some people, when they say God, they see just this human, right? And if you really, if the thing about the holy books, I love reading them because you can learn so much about humans just reading that, right? And when you're reading the book, it's pieced over so many different timelines, right? you notice that with those timelines, it kind of tells you what the power was in that time, that what society was thinking, right?
Absolutely.
But a lot of those books, if you read them, at certain points they say that there should be no image of God.
Right.
Right? But then at the same time, humans, there's always parts of humans that want power. And for them to have power, it feels like they have to you have to have something for people to focus on. So that's when they bring the images in. Yeah. And I think in those books having images, I think that really hurts us. I think if we let go of the images and just understand the teachings and not saying, using the different names, I don't want to disrespect, because some people and I don't have any problem with people believing in something like that, as long as when they believe in that, it's for good, right? Mm-hmm. As long as they believe in it for it to happen, they're not hurting others. Once you have to hurt others, what kind of God is that to me, right? Why would God do that? Because if I'm thinking about numbers now, numbers aren't destroyed. When you put them together, they add. When you take them around, they subtract. Subtraction is not negative. It's just another state, right? So if, for example, you feel like for my God to come, I have to get rid of these others because God said so, why are you destroying that? God doesn't want you to destroy, right? So you're reading it wrong. I feel like you're not supposed to destroy. I don't know, less does not mean bad, right? And more does not mean good. It's all kind of relative.
So when you hear the stories that, like the book of Revelation, is people kicking butt in the book of Revelation.
Right.
So you don't like that concept.
Yeah, see, I don't. It's this struggle I have, right? If God is nature, right? Who said that the person who wrote that book knows God more than I do, right? Because I can read that and be like, the God I feel doesn't feel like it agrees with this. But you wrote this down based on humanity. You have the power to then propagate this out. But to me and others, we might be like, that doesn't make sense. Because to me, God is love. This isn't love what's going on right here. This is love for just your section. But we need all of the sections because we're all based on this 0 and 1 concept, if I want to bring it all in together. Yeah. So that's why I think sometimes religion teaches you how to think. While you can read the books, but if you're strong enough, you'll think spiritually and realize you can think differently than what's in that book if you think spiritually, because spirituality, doesn't teach you what to think, it teaches you how to think, right? So you could put all these,
I think that's what a lot of people struggle with, like going to hell and burning up forever, and just the acts of some religion, the war and the death that has been done on the planet based on religion. Mm-hmm. Right. Once again, religion, follow a certain law and say this is what God wants you to do. Mm-hmm. That's a dangerous thing. Right. Because the truth, right, is not about your social and cultural dynamics. Right. The truth is that something that is absolute, like mathematics, you can't really argue against. It's not about somebody's opinion. Right. Right. So, that's what guided me to the mind. Yeah. I wanted, I just started really paying attention to the lessons, and numbers don't lie, and what each number means. Just like the number 7, that's universal. And when I'm looking at stuff, and when I saw the patterns jumping out at you, I couldn't deny that this is a sequence that is going to continue. I don't care how you work the math. If you're going to be fruitful and multiply, those are the three patterns that's going to come up. Now, here's a unique thing about the number 2. Us. If you just multiply each number, I mean, like 1 times 1 equals 1, 2 times 2 equals 4, 3 times 3 equals 9. You keep going. There's a particular pattern that's gonna show for that. And then if you look at once the duality comes in, and you pay attention to the numbers, and when you break that phrase down to it, you will see the pattern of 2. See, each number has its own distinct pattern. And then because it's unique, right? You're equal, but you are unique. Yeah. So you see the pattern 2 of all the numbers being multiplied. All you're doing is and you can do this. You can do this forever. Right. You're gonna see the pattern of 2 when it runs its course. You're gonna see it start all over again. Why 2? Because as the 1, there never was a time in thought when life was separate from God. Or for lack of a better word.
Right, yeah.
The 1 and the 2, like 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. That is what life is all about. The unit, family, what we call family. The thing is that you were speaking of society. People name themselves after a landmass. I'm from here. This is my country. That's your country. I don't agree with you, except we're not looking at each other. And when that culture comes up and that environment, you grow into that environment, you're not growing into the environment of life. We don't see each other as equal all over the line. Competition. Somebody has to win. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the side.
I think that's the funny thing about humans. Well, yeah, I would say humans, and I don't like using the term, but if as you watch it, you literally see us at the same time. Like they might say like apes, whatever, right? If you watch I was watching something on Netflix.
About the apes thing?
Yeah. I'm like, why are they all fighting over a tree? Y'all crazy, right? And science said there's just a 1% difference in our genes, and that's what happens, right? So they're fighting over a tree, but then you bring it out to us, we're fighting over land, right? We do it too. And there might be something out in the universe that's 1% difference in the gene, and they're looking at us as humans like, what are y'all fighting over? Where else are you gonna go right now, right? What are you fighting over on that planet? Everything is there for you. You guys can make it work. Literally, think about this. We're fighting over land.
Right.
I can drive anywhere. We're in Georgia right now, and I see a lot of green.
Yeah.
Everybody can live somewhere.
Yeah.
What are we fighting over?
It's the system that's in place.
It's a
system that is in place, and the system doesn't. Here's the funny thing about it.
Yeah.
I once asked a question. It said, "God, why don't you do something about this madness?" And he asked me the same thing. Since I asked the question, he said, "Why don't you do something about it?" And besides, he came back and said, "I didn't create it. Y'all did. If we created this, then this is the bed we are deciding we want to sleep in. If the people over in the Far East, as the sun rises, and said, I'm not going to participate in this nonsense, in this mass stupidity anymore. And as the sun rises, everybody agreed to that same statement. What they going to do?
Right.
those who are so-called in power,
Mm-hmm.
what are they gonna do if we say no?
Right. Right.
Now, if they're going to just have the robots to eventually do it, this is how satanic people are thinking.
Mm-hmm.
What you need humans for?
Right.
The few humans, I can, if my heart goes out, I can create something to make sure that I can replace it, take it, and revive. Know how to really the cells and stuff work. It's getting dangerous to the point where somebody can look at you, even though they're human, but you're obsolete.
Mm-hmm.
I am in the position I can make myself live forever.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yet that potential doesn't need so-called AI. If you're getting the data, who's preventing you from doing it?
Right.
And it's that hatred is just so out there, man.
Yeah.
But look, I try not to go too long.
Oh.
Okay.
It was good.
Yeah, no,
Good.
it's just it's just a natural flow.
Yeah.
But
I always think, being around you more, I'm like, wow, yeah, I start to see more math and things. I'm like, because I've always been connected to the universe. I always try to look up at the sky. Right? When you look up at the sky at night, your mind just always goes to what is out there. That's what happens. And I feel like the more society, we just look at each other and we just keep in our business and just keep going and we forget to look up. I think we need to look up. Right? We got lights on constantly. We can turn the lights whenever we want. Right? We can go in cities, look up, and it's so dark because there's too much light shining on us. But if you look at societies where they didn't have this,
can you imagine what they were saying?
what they were seeing was incredible, and they built that on the ground. What was above is so below.
Yeah, man, it is.
And that was math. They're finding just with whoever was in the so-called natives to America, a lot of things were destroyed through, invasions, whatever. They're showing with like laser technology, LiDAR. It shines on the ground and they can see geometric shapes and big things from miles, circles. And as they start to look at it and using computers, they're seeing that these geometric shapes have something to do with the sky. They're showing complex math going on right there on the ground because what the ancient civilizations were doing was looking up.
Right.
So they were applying the math. They knew the math. And I feel like
it all starts there.
I feel like we just need to look up more, and I think we'll start to connect. Wow, how many stars in the sky? When you're young, how many stars you start counting and you lose count? Right? That's math.
It is almost natural.
Yeah.
You hit on something profound that we need to look up. But you notice how natural it is.
Yeah.
That when we start thinking about the one,
right,
we do look up.
Exactly. You look up.
It's a natural thing. Because depending on what astral figures that you like to listen to, but everything, every cell in our body is part of this universe.
That's right.
It has all the makeup of what the universe is.
Right.
To understand this bio connection, understanding that you are with the one. There's nothing that you cannot know. The one isn't hiding information. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's here. What is it that you want to know? Apply the math.
Right.
and it's going to flow.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd be amazed how you can, when you really want to take off, you're going to find yourself observing your thought. Just as simple as that. Because you can't keep up with it. It's
right.
it is going to flow. I mean, it's nothing spooky about mathematics when you let it flow, because I know you hear me say this 1,000 times. If you start counting, when you gonna stop? And all you gotta do is just let it flow. And if you in error, it's gonna fix itself. It's the mind. So being called flawed or feeling like that you're coming up short, thinking that you made a mistake, keep going.
Right.
Continue. I mean, it's life, man. It ain't a game. It's life. Keep learning. Yeah. So is there anything you want to ask me before I give people a break? Who's gonna take the time to watch it?
I would say, besides people watching your channel, if they wanted to start to apply it, what would you say would be the first step?
You gotta learn the 3 patterns of life. You gotta learn how the keys work. You gotta learn 3, 6, and 9. The reason why I say it'd be good to know how to recite the 3 patterns of life, because that's the frequency. Just like some people things starts with a chant or a drum beat. Like if your heart starts beating, it's sound and frequency is that. And this sound, you don't have to say it out loud. You can, to get that vibration going, But just say it to yourself. And once you get that, that's a rhythm. That is a natural rhythm. And it will start like a harmony. Learn how to play the piano, it teaches you how to play life. A harmony of life. So you're an equation, so sing. You have a voice, sing. You have a thought, play your thoughts out. Play like music. Because we're harmony. And when we all in sync with that harmony, then you can feel it. So learn the 3 patterns of life, and then know how to apply what I call the keys, the 3, the 6, and the 9. And it's natural. It's your natural language. And then just bear witness to what you see and what you experience. Because once you know the patterns and you know how to work it, and when you get used to it, you don't need somebody standing over you and explaining everything to you. I mean, you don't need a third party. You go straight to the one. It's one that I like about when they're making the story when, the story that I like, when they said that when Jesus was crucified, this is according to what I heard, that, what they call it? The rent split between, like you go into the confession.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever keeps that
Yeah.
broke, because when he gave up the ghost, you have direct contact with the one. And to me, when you are born, you have direct contact with your parents. It's the same with the one. When you get in that environment, that's when you start knowing. So put yourself in that mindset, learn 3 patterns of life, because that opens up your heart to life. Now, to me, I'm not going to get into it right now. Consciousness begins in the heart. People think it's up here. Man, if this ain't right, this can't even begin to be right.
And you want to bring it back to the ancient Egyptians. That's what it was all at the end of life. They would weigh your heart. Yeah, it wasn't ever the brain.
This is consciousness. That's why the heart is a symbol of love. if we get this right, then this so-called external world will reflect us more. It will be reflecting love instead of all this ego and extreme madness, what I like to call mad stupidity.
Yeah.
But you have been a blessing to me. We always had a good relationship. I love your intellect. I have listened to you. I learned a lot. And
Same here.
man, it's been an honor.
Yeah, me too.
So I appreciate you.
Love you.
Appreciate you. All right. 1 times 1 times 1 equals 1.